Hello there! I am Michael Morbius, and Sony made a crappy movie about me. Dudes and dudettes, what is good? It's your boy VT, and today we're talking about Morbius, a movie that was delayed for 2 goddamn years. For absolutely no reason why. And what I mean by that is, of course, it's being delayed by COVID and whatnot, and yeah, COVID will delay a movie, as it has with so many movies, but how the hell were they planning to release Morbius before releasing Spider-Man No Way Home? Did they make a bunch of edits after Spider-Man No Way Home came out? Was everything that happened in this movie after Spider-Man No Way Home, but the movie came out before Spider-Man No Way Home? That makes no sense! Okay, so let's start by talking about the movie of Morbius. The movie Morbius is about a character named Michael Morbius, who is a gifted young adult who is gifted in the science of medical sciences and technology with a strong understanding of how to deal with it and what it can do, a strong understanding of the medical history, of medicine in general, and is capable of doing a lot since he's such a gifted person. And as such, he created artificial blood, which is saving millions of lives. And now that he's created that, he wants to continue to create new cures to diseases, including his main goal of curing the rare blood disease that he has and his best friend Milo has. And most of his funding comes from Milo, who can inherently assume is filthy rich. And as you would expect, Morbius does find a cure, cures himself, and the cure turns out to be a curse instead, with him turning into a vampire hungry for blood. And thank God he's able to take artificial blood, though it won't sustain him for much longer. And now the bigger problem is that his friend Milo, he wants to live as well, and since he doesn't even really care about this curse that the cure may put upon him, he takes the cure anyway, cures himself, and doesn't mind drinking blood of humans. So basically it's a battle of morals between our main character Morbius and his best friend Milo. So if that seemed kind of choppy to you, kind of crappy to you, like it doesn't make any sense at all, well, you're right, because the plot was garbage and didn't make much sense at all. To talk a little positive first, I mean, we're seeing Jared Leto and Matt Smith portray these characters brilliantly. Their acting performance was brilliant. Like, by the way, even though the characters were terribly written, their performances make these characters seem so interesting and like you want to explore them a lot more. But because of the terrible writing, it's gone to crap. There's no substance around the characters. There's no substance around the plot. The plot, on a basic sense, you can get what it is, but even then you're not able to fully grasp it. It's not there. It's just confusing. Everything in this movie is confusing. A lot is left up to inferring what's going on, inferring a lot about the characters. There's a romantic relationship between Morbius and Martine. It's kind of explored, kind of not explored in a sense. A lot of this movie is just really confusing. And the one thing I hate the most about it is that it's rushed, all to try and keep up with the MCU and what's going on in the MCU timeline, trying to keep up with what just happened in Spider-Man, try to incorporate all that multiversal stuff into Spider-Man, because of course if they want to include Morbius into the MCU, they have to keep up with him now so that Marvel doesn't get too far ahead, so that Morbius entering the MCU wouldn't make any sense in the future. But in a sense, by rushing that, they kind of threw away Morbius' entire character, Matt's entire character, of Milo. They just threw all that away to try and catch up, and that really killed this entire movie, kind of killed hope for Morbius. And there's just so much potential with these characters that I'm hoping they can fix this in the next movie. Like, personally, I really want them to do a reboot, because Morbius seems like such an interesting character to watch on screen, and Jared Leto absolutely killed it with the performance. But if they were to reboot it now, they won't be able to include him into the MCU, which would really suck. So I'm really hoping that with the other 2 movies which are confirmed for Morbius, that they actually do a better job. I mean, there's 2 post-credit scenes with this, which the director spoiled, but there's 2 post-credit scenes. The first makes no sense, because the way the Vulture enters the MCU, it makes absolutely 0 sense. I mean, it makes more sense for Venom to leave his drop behind, even though that made no sense. It makes more sense for that to happen than for Morbius' first post-credit scene. And then the second post-credit scene was kind of cool, with Morbius finally talking to Vulture. Though I will say the Vulture's outfit in this movie was absolutely insane, much miles better than what it was in Spider-Man Homecoming. And on another hugely positive note, the CGI and visual effects in this movie was mind-blowing. Like, it was crazy. Like, it had this sort of Nightcrawler from the X-Men series type of effect, but it was just miles better. Everything about the VFX and CGI in this movie was just crazy. The echolocation, everything was crazy, mind-blowing, really cool to watch. Definitely mind-blowing in this. Like, I'm not even able to stop saying mind-blowing, because that's how mind-blowing it was to see this. It was far better than the CGI and VFX in Dune, Infinity War, literally any other VFX or VFX intensive movie you can name. It was miles better. And with the Oscars just passing, I can tell you for next year's Oscars, aside from what we might expect with the other Marvel movies like Multiverse of Madness, right now this is the lead runner for best VFX, and I really doubt there's any movie that can top this, because this is just insane with how amazing it is, how amazing the VFX was here. Damn, I don't even have the words to describe it, because it was just that good. But I mean, at the end of the day, the Sony really rushed this character, trying to match with the MCU, trying to keep up with the MCU timeline, rushing this character's entire development. I mean, I wouldn't have minded a 3-hour movie if they gave us substance behind the characters, more development for the characters, a more like well thought out and more descriptive storyline, like where we actually have an understanding of what's going on. Everything feels lost, and this movie is just really confusing and just really, really bad to watch. On another note, I will say Jared Harris, he had a minor role in this movie. Tyrese Gibson, the guy from Fast and Furious, he had also a sort of minor role, but a more major role than Jared Harris. And Al Madrigal, I mean, all these guys had amazing roles, and they killed their performances as well, and they were really cool to watch as well. Especially Tyrese Gibson and Al Madrigal. And Al Madrigal really gave off Commissioner Gordon vibes in this movie, though he was more of a chicken too. And Tyrese Gibson was a badass. So at the end of the day, all I can really say is that this movie felt entirely rushed. Like, they wanted to get through an entire 2-hour movie to try and reach the post-credit scene to try and introduce Morbius into the MCU. But, like, that was just the wrong move on Sony's behalf. They really screwed up bad here. I mean, they had so much potential with Morbius. He seems like such an interesting character. Jared Leto killed it. Matt Smith killed his role as Milo. And, oh my god, it's just so sad to see how they ruined this. And, like, the trailer looked mid to begin with. Really interesting, but, like, kind of mid. But, like, it was kind of cool to see how barely anything from the trailer actually made into the movie. They were trying to copy Marvel on that aspect, that trying to fake us out with a lot from the trailer, but then they still ruined the movie. So, goddamn. And I'm pretty sure they thought that the post-credit scene would get us hyped, but no, it just made no sense. But I mean, yeah, I guess Morbius is gonna be introduced to the MCU sometime in the future. This movie actually hinted that Spider-Man exists in Morbius's universe, and that I'm highly certain that it's Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, since Morbius isn't in Tom's universe, and since Morbius is in Venom's universe, Venom can't be in this universe. Can't be Toby, since Toby already had a Venom, but that leaves Andrew Garfield, and that would be pretty sick, since Andrew Garfield wants to fight a Venom. And that's why I think Morbius' Spider-Man is going to be Andrew Garfield, which will be interesting to watch. And it was also pretty cool to see how the Daily Bugle was there, more of a minor role in the movie, just acting as the newspaper reporting on Dr. Michael Morbius, but it was still there, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, this movie was just not it. I rate this movie a 30%. It wasn't that good. It was more interesting than Cheaper by the Dozen remake that Disney made, but that was still a better movie. But the performances in this movie were just far better. Like, the acting performances in this movie are just next level compared to Cheaper by the Dozen for sure. And even in general, the acting performances in this movie were just pretty killer. If you really love VFX and technical aspects of a movie like that, you should definitely check this out in theaters. I mean, the cinematography in this movie is also really good. The visuals in this movie are also pretty beautiful. And on that aspect, it is kind of cool to watch. And aside from that, this movie is not immersive at all. It's not rewatchable at all. And if you want to watch it, I highly suggest you watch it with your friends so you can roast the absolute crap out of it and praise Jared Leto and Matt Smith's performance, and like be in absolute bewilderment after viewing the crazy, amazing CGI and visual effects this movie has to offer. And yeah, after that, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What you guys think of this movie. Did you like it? I mean, it's April Fool's Day, so go ahead and say you liked it. But did you like it? Did you enjoy it? What did you think of it? Did you hate it? What do you think of the VFX? I really want to know your thoughts on that. Do you think it was better than Dune? I definitely do. I think it's some of the greatest VFX ever. Or maybe the greatest VFX ever. But yeah, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think. And with that, that is all I have for you guys today. Don't forget to drop a like and hit that subscribe button to stay notified for future reviews, which are on the way soon. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!